back to the channel. Today we're going to be going through my 2024 finals predictions for the AFL. Obviously with the weekend just gone, all the results did determine who will be playing next week and who won't be. We'll be doing this video as like an entire final series prediction, and then each week after all the results and stuff we'll be doing an in-depth breakdown. So we'll do finals week 1 tips next week, and then semi-finals, prelims, and then obviously overall a grand final prediction when that time does come. So the first game of the final series is obviously the Swans and the Giants, which is a final which we have seen a few times in the past, and some really good results and a potential to be a really good final, this one. At the SCG, the Giants coming off a loss against the Dogs at Mars Stadium, but obviously with this weekend having the pre-finals bye, all teams do get to have that reset before we do head into the games. Sydney have finished off their season a lot better than what the club was looking like, you know, a little over a month ago, especially after that Port Adelaide loss by 112 points. They were just not in a good moment there for the club, and I feel like they've been able to bring back a little bit of good form coming into the final series, which is definitely needed for the minor premiers. And to be honest, I reckon I'll be backing in the Swans here just because it is at the SCG, and I feel like the Giants going to the SCG, I don't know. I don't really know. I feel like Sydney have shown a little bit stronger signs than what the Giants have shown in the last month or so of footy, and I feel like the Swans, they've got a home final, a really good chance to set themselves up to get into the granny, and they'll get this home prelim here. I feel like they'll knock off the Giants at home. Obviously the Giants do have the second chance though, so they will face the winner of this elimination final here at their home deck as well. So next game, it's Brisbane and Carlton at the Gabba. And Freo nearly had this spot. If you are new to the channel, I am a Dockers fan, so really upset with the result on the weekend, but nothing we can do about it now. The Blues will have to travel up to Brisbane to face Brisbane at the Gabba, and quite frankly, I don't think it really matters who made that 8th position, whether it have been Freo or Carlton. Brisbane are going to be winning this game at the Gabba, at their home deck. Carlton are in some pretty shaky form still at the moment. They haven't been able to find their mojo, and I think with too many injuries, and the Lions will be able to assert their dominance up at their home track. And I think they'll get it done, and a bit weird seeing them in an elimination final. I feel like the Blues are going to go first week of finals. I feel like in this whole top 8, I feel it is anyone's granny and premiership to take home, but Carlton. I just don't feel like they're up for it this year. Moving on to the second elimination final, we have the Dogs and the Hawks in, well, I would say game of the round for sure. An elimination final, obviously whoever loses packs their bags, and it is the two hottest teams in the comp at the moment, the two most informed teams, the two most exciting teams to watch in the competition at the moment, and it's an elimination final. It doesn't get bigger than this. Honestly, I could flip a coin, it's that even. I don't know who to tip. At the MCG as well, I feel like the Hawks play a little bit better at the MCG than the Dogs do, but the Dogs, they've got their home crowd in attendance here, and like I said, it's really just a flip of a coin. Like, both teams are moving so smoothly at the moment. I just have no idea who's going to get up. Like, the Hawks are on an absolute roll, don't get me wrong, but coming into finals, could the experience get to them? I'm not really sure. The Dogs can have their off game every now and then as well, and well, the Hawks, they don't really have those off games. You know what we're going to do? We're actually going to flip a coin, and whatever it lands on, if it's heads, it's the Bulldogs, if it's tails, it's Hawthorn. Whatever it lands on, that's who I'm going to tip. I'll be back. Alright, we have the coin right here. If it lands on heads, it's the Dogs. If it lands on Hawks, it is... if it lands on tails, it's going to be the Hawks. Here we go. Straight on the setup, and it is heads. So we're going to be backing in the Dogs to get it done in the elimination final. It really is a bit of a coin flip if it wants to tip for me. Thank you. Cheers. Port Adelaide take on Geelong in the second qualifying final at the Adelaide Oval. And this one also I could see being a bit of a coin flip as well. Obviously Port with the home ground advantage, but the Cats are travelling probably just a tiny bit smoother than Port. But to be honest, they're both actually on an absolute mission at the moment, both teams, and I feel like Geelong are gonna like their confidence travelling up to Adelaide and getting it done on the road. But also Port did get it done at ģMHBA Stadium on a Friday night earlier in the year, but that's when the Cats were in a little bit of a shaky patch, and I feel like they are smoother than anyone else in the comp at the moment, the Cats. And the power at home, it's going to be hard to tip against them, especially at home, and they've just been so bad in final series though, and you'd think it's like just surely, like, they're going to win one game, if any. But I genuinely think the Cats will get this one done on the road and they'll progress to a home preliminary final. But the Power at home, geez, they're a big chance. They're a massive chance at this. Moving on to the second week of the finals, we have the semi-finals. First one being between the Giants and the Lions at NG Stadium. So it's going to be obviously a sellout. There'll be, I don't know how many seats are at NG Stadium or what the capacity is there, but it'll obviously be a sellout. And at their home deck, the Giants, I don't see the Giants going out in straight sets. That's the thing. And Brisbane, they can be a little bit shaky, and especially away from home as well. I think that's where, you know, it does shake a little bit for the Lions. So I think, yeah, I don't see GWS going out in straight sets. I'm going to be backing in the Giants here at their home ground to progress to the preliminary final against the Cats at the G. But like I said, I don't think they're going out in straight sets. And I feel like the Lions will win a final as well, but I don't think they're really like hot stuff at the moment, the Lions. The second semi-final is between the Power and the Dogs, and straight away I'm tipping the Power to get this one done. The Dogs at Adelaide Oval just put a line through them immediately. They are absolutely horrendous. Lost games there this year against Adelaide by a pretty big margin, and also Port Adelaide by a pretty big margin. They just do not like going up to Adelaide and facing, well, either team. They just don't like going to Adelaide, and also they lost to Geelong there in gather round. So they're 0-3 this year at Adelaide Oval, the Dogs, and I think the Power have got to get one finals win, and that's where it is. That's where it is. They've got to get at least one win. They're not going to be going out in straight sets, the Power. I think they're too good of a side for that. I think they'll reassess after this Catters game, and I feel like they should be able to smoke the Dogs at home, I reckon. Moving on to the third week of finals to see who will make it into the granny, we have in the first prelim final, the Swans and the Power at the SCG. This is going to be a really, really challenging road trip for the Port Adelaide Footy Club to go up to Sydney and to get the job done. And the Swans in the absolute box seat to be moving on to a home grand final at the G. Probably definitely leaning towards the Swans here, as they are at their home ground, and I think it's just going to be way too much of an ask for the Power to come to Sydney and to get it done on the SCG. I don't remember the last time the Power played at the SCG, but I don't see them winning this game, and I'm going to be backing in the Swans to get this one done and to move on to the grand final. I feel like they've been too good all year, and as soon as they get this first win on the board, I think they should be really, really big favourites coming into it to win it all. So I reckon they'll get over the top against the Power at their home ground. For the second prelim final to see who will be facing off in the granny against the Swans, it is Geelong and the Giants at the MCG. The Giants don't mind going to the MCG, don't they? Like, they're a genuine sniff in this game. Geelong probably have a little bit more finals experience, and at the MCG, this could really be a 2022 grand final rematch. I don't see the Giants being strong enough to keep up with the Catters. I just don't see them in that good a form at the moment to be able to keep up with the Cats. I think there's a fair bit separating these two sides at the minute. I feel like Geelong have the box seat at the MCG. They're going to be getting this one done, I feel. And look, as soon as they get this win here, it's sort of like the box seat. I feel like they'll like going up to Adelaide, and they'll like facing the Power there. And I think they'll like also taking on the Giants at the MCG. I feel like the Giants absolutely love going to the G. Don't get me wrong, they're a real sniff in this game, but due to experience and probably just a little bit of a home ground advantage for the Cats, I think they'll be able to get it done in that second prelim final, which takes us to a 2022 grand final rematch between the Swans and the Catters. And look, I haven't said this, the Cats in this scenario will be winning the flag. I have no idea how I've got to this conclusion or this scenario. Would obviously love to see the Hawkers get up here in a close match, which they're definitely capable of, but well, the coin do not lie, and they said back in the Dogs. So I feel like at the MCG on grand final day, the Swans and the Cats, I don't think the Swans will be going on to win 3 in a row, and on a grand final day, I feel like the nerves could get to them, and facing Geelong in the grand final when you know what happened a couple years ago, you are not going to be coming into this like with much confidence. Obviously, you've got to, but there's always that little voice in the back of your mind reminding you of what happened 2 years ago at the MCG on this exact day. And the Catters will be, well, your 2024 premiers. I don't know how we've got there, but we have. So there it is. There's the video done with a bit of an interesting prediction, to be honest. If I were just to predict a premier right now, I'd probably just say, like, you know, I'd probably just chuck out your Bulldogs, Sydney, Giants. I actually don't know how I've got to Geelong, but I've got there. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. There goes the coin. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and leave any video suggestions in the comments below. It would be much appreciated. Coming to finals time, I'll try and be smashing out a little bit more content throughout the week. Cheers everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.